Ryan here. One of the ways that I wanted to use my GoPro camera is when I'm paddleboarding. The question is how do you attach your GoPro to your paddle so that, or maybe, you know, obviously you can put it on the board, but how do you actually attach it to your paddle for paddleboarding? Because, you know, these paddles can be used as a really cool, like almost like a monopod, and you can get some really cool angles with your GoPro if it's attached to your paddle. So you can see here what I've done is I've just used the base plate that the GoPro actually comes on when you purchase it, and I've just, here, I'll just show you. You can see how it's attached, how the GoPro's attached. But what I do is I cut out. This is basically this comes on obviously the GoPro comes in a box, and this is a big square piece. So what I've done is I just cut the GoPro holder out, and I've kind of angled these corners in, and then all I've done, and I've kind of notched the four little areas here. And what I've done is I just attached that base to the paddle with 2 zip ties. You can see there's 2 zip ties right here. And what this other stuff here is this is just neoprene. And what I use that because this end down here is actually, there's more space here. So I had to kind of make up some of the space by putting the neoprene in there. So anyway, that's how I attach my GoPro to my paddle. It's cheap. All you need is basically a needle nose pliers to clip off the ends of the zip ties, and then I got these zip ties from the hardware store. These were, you know, you could get these for like $3 or $4, and you know these are the ones. This is the size that I got. You can get bigger, I guess, if you really are concerned about it coming off. And the other thing I did is I just used a little bit of duct tape. Any reason to use duct tape is, I mean, I think all guys use duct tape for any reason they can. So what I did is I just basically used duct tape on the corners here because they're a little bit sharp. I guess you could file the corners down. But I mean, that's a great way to attach your GoPro to your paddle. The thing I don't like about it is that you can't move it up and down. Now you can get these two adapters here. This is an adapter. This is actually a roll bar adapter that you can get at GoPro, and you can see you put this on by screwing and unscrewing these two screws right here, and that just clamps down these 2 edges. The thing I don't like it is that it's got kind of a high profile. You can see the low profile of this adapter that I've made. I like how it's flush. I want to keep this whole deal that I'm making here with, you know, as low profile as possible. I don't want it to interrupt my paddleboarding, so I want to make it as low profile as I possibly can. That's the one downside or one of the downsides of the attachment that you get when you purchase these adapters that you can get from GoPro that are made for the roll bars. And there's also another one. That you can get that's smaller, and that's I guess the one thing I do have to say about the roll bar adapter is that it's just so big and bulky. You can see how big these are, and these bolts actually hang down, so you'd almost have to chop those off or use smaller bolts. The one that I do like is this one. You can see it's about half the size of the roll bar adapter. Both of these are made out of plastic, and that's one of the other downsides of these is that basically when you screw this, it ends up pinching both of these edges. And when it pinches, this plastic has a memory. So what happens is it pinches down, and then the next time you use it, you have to go at least to that point or beyond in order for it to even stay attached to the paddle. Now the one thing so that's a problem because you end up having to continually crank these down further and further because they're not made out of metal or something else that's a little bit more rigid. The one thing I do like about this one is that it's got rubber on the inside of here, on the inside of the actual adapter itself, which allows it not to slip so much this way and this way, and this one doesn't. So you've got to have some sort of plastic that you put on the inside so that it doesn't slip up and down the paddle when you use it. Now the thing I do like about these is that you can move them. You can, you know, loosen them up and you can move them up and down the paddle, and so it gives you some more flexibility. But again, you know, for $5 you can do this, a little bit of elbow grease, and you'll have a nice, you know, a nice GoPro attachment point for your paddle. This has stayed on here for, I've had it on for probably 7 or 8 months now. These are about $25 to $30, and they do end up sliding a little bit. They're a little bit bulkier. They do have the advantage of being, you know, being able to move them up and down the paddle, but again, I mean, they are still pretty bulky, and they've got, I don't like having to continue to crank down on them, and I do feel that eventually this one will not work if I continually have to keep cranking down in order for it to stay attached to the paddle. So anyway, those are your options. I hope this helps. Just rate, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and that way you'll get some more videos on how to use your GoPro when you're when you're doing your action sports or whatever it is that you're doing. Thanks, bye.